Let me ask you something. Why are you still waiting? What exactly are you waiting for? The perfect moment? A sign? Motivation? Let me tell you a hard truth. That moment you're waiting for, it's not coming. You don't need motivation. You need movement. If you want a better life, stop waiting for one. Get up and get it done. Before we dive in, make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you're serious about growth, you'll want to be here for every step of the journey. 1. Start now, not later. The clock is ticking. Every moment that passes is one more moment that you will never get back. Time is the one resource that, once spent, cannot be earned back, borrowed, or saved for later. And yet, so many of us treat it as though it's infinite, like we can put off our goals, our dreams, our ambitions until tomorrow, or next week, or next year. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Tomorrow is just another word for never. The perfect moment you keep waiting for, it doesn't exist. You keep telling yourself you'll start when things calm down. You'll commit when you're more motivated. You'll begin your journey when you have more time, more energy, more clarity. But all of that is an illusion. Those ideal conditions are a mirage in the desert, always just out of reach, always disappearing as you get closer. Start now, not later, not when it's easy, not when you feel like it. Now, right now is all you have. This second, this breath, this heartbeat, you can use it to begin. You can take that first step. No matter how small the action, what matters is the shift, the transition from passivity to momentum, from thought to movement, from intention to execution. Let others wait for motivation. You choose movement. Let others make excuses. You take action, because when you start now, you separate yourself from the crowd. Most people will live their whole lives waiting for certainty, waiting for approval, waiting for someone to save them. But no one is coming to do it for you. This is your story, and you're the only one who can write it. Starting now doesn't mean you'll get it all right. It doesn't mean you won't stumble, fail, or fall short. But it means you're in the game. It means you're building momentum. And momentum is powerful. It turns small beginnings into massive transformations. There's an old saying, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Whatever your goal is, fitness, writing, building a business, mastering a skill, healing from pain, the best time to begin was probably a long time ago. But you can't change the past. You can only control what you do next. So don't waste another second. Start now. Because every day you delay is a day you could have been progressing. Every moment you hesitate is a moment that could have been moving you forward. And in a world that never slows down, if you're not moving ahead, you're falling behind. Remember, action beats intention every time, and now beats later. Always. 2. Win the morning, win the day. How you start your morning sets the tone for everything that follows. It's your first battle, your first opportunity to choose between progress and comfort, and that choice defines your day. You hit snooze, you've already surrendered. You've told your goals they can wait. You've handed over the reins to comfort, to passivity. And the truth is, how you begin often dictates how you continue. If your first decision is to retreat, it becomes easier to keep retreating. If your first action is avoidance, the rest of your day tends to follow that script. But what happens when you rise with purpose? When you take control of your morning before the world even has a chance to demand anything from you, you create a ripple effect. You build momentum. You prime yourself for success. Morning isn't just a time of day. It's a mindset. It's a commitment. It's a statement to yourself and the world. I am in control. Winning the morning doesn't mean waking up at 4 a.m. just for the sake of it. It means owning your time. Whether that means waking up earlier to train your body, read, meditate, plan, or simply sit in silence. The point is to start deliberately. You're not reacting to the day. You're creating it. Most people wake up and immediately go into reactive mode, scrolling social media, checking emails, worrying about the problems ahead. But the high performers, the focused, the driven, they build structure into their mornings. They treat that time as sacred because they know that how they begin determines how they show up for everything else. You don't have to overhaul your life overnight. Start with one habit. Make your bed. Drink a full glass of water. Move your body for 10 minutes. Reflect in a journal. Read one page of something powerful. These are small wins. And small wins compound into big victories. Structure breeds freedom. When your morning has intention, the rest of your day falls into place more naturally. You've already proven to yourself that you're in command. That's a powerful psychological edge. Success doesn't wait. It doesn't pause for your convenience. It rewards those who are proactive, those who claim their mornings and, by extension, their lives. So don't wait to feel like it. Don't wait for inspiration. Build your mornings with discipline and watch how your entire life begins to transform. Win the morning. Win the day. 3. Discipline over emotion. There will be days, many days, when you don't feel like showing up. Days when your energy is low, when your motivation is gone, when everything inside you screams for comfort, distraction, or rest. And that's exactly why discipline matters more than emotion. Emotions are fleeting. They change like the wind. You can't build anything lasting on such an unstable foundation. One day you feel inspired, and the next you feel lost. One moment you're excited to work, and the next you're full of doubt. If you only act when you feel like it, your progress will be inconsistent. Your goals will remain dreams. Your potential will go unrealized. But discipline, that's different. Discipline is stable. It's the commitment to show up, especially when it's inconvenient. Discipline says, I don't care how I feel. I do the work anyway. It doesn't mean ignoring your emotions. It means not being ruled by them. You can feel tired, frustrated, discouraged, and still take action. That's real strength. That's how greatness is built. Look at anyone who's achieved something remarkable. Athletes, writers, leaders, creators. They all have one thing in common. They don't rely on motivation. They rely on habits. They rely on discipline. Because they know there's no shortcut, no hack, just consistent, deliberate effort over time. Discipline is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. Every time you do the work despite your mood, you reinforce the identity of someone who follows through, someone who finishes what they start, someone who can be counted on by others and by themselves. When you live by discipline, your days become intentional. You don't wake up and hope for inspiration. You create it through action. You don't let procrastination win. You face resistance head on. And the more you do that, the easier it becomes to trust yourself, to know that no matter how you feel, you'll still show up. This is how transformation happens, not in a flash of inspiration, but in the quiet, unglamorous moments when no one's watching, when you do the work simply because it needs to be done. Your goals don't care about your mood. They only care about your effort. So be the kind of person who follows through regardless of how they feel. Discipline over emotion. Always. 4. Your habits build your life. Want to know where your life is really headed? You don't need a crystal ball or a 5-year forecast. Just take a hard, honest look at your daily routine. What are you doing today? What do your mornings look like? Your evenings? What are you prioritizing in the small, quiet moments when nobody's watching? Because whether you realize it or not, your habits, those repeated choices, big and small, are actively writing the script of your future. Your life isn't shaped in grand, dramatic moments. It's not defined by the occasional burst of effort, the once-in-a-while hustle, or that one super productive Sunday afternoon. No, it's shaped in the everyday, the repeated patterns, the invisible decisions, the simple, consistent actions that compound over time. Those are the building blocks of your destiny. Think about it. You don't get healthy from one intense workout. You get healthy by showing up every day, even when it's boring, even when you don't feel like it. You don't become wise by reading one book, but by turning pages daily. You don't become financially free because of one good investment. It's the small savings, the daily discipline, the long-term mindset that gets you there. It's consistency that wins, not occasional intensity. We often underestimate how powerful our habits really are because they're quiet. They're not flashy or dramatic. They happen when the world isn't watching. But that's the point. What you do when nobody's watching is exactly what defines you. Habits are like seeds. They take time to grow. But given enough time, they become forests. Bad habits, though, work the same way. They sneak in. They seem harmless at first. Skipping one workout, snoozing the alarm, spending mindlessly, putting things off. These things don't ruin your life in a day, but over months or years, they compound just as much. And instead of building you, they begin to slowly break you. This is why self-awareness is so vital. You must become a student of your own routine. Ask yourself, are my habits aligned with the life I want? Are they helping me grow? Or are they quietly pulling me away from my goals? Because you don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Your habits are the system, and your system determines your results. Perfection isn't required. Forget trying to be flawless. You're human. You'll mess up. You'll miss a day. That's okay. What matters is getting back on track. What matters is that over the course of time, you show up more often than not, that you stay in the game, that you stay consistent. Because who you are is shaped by what you repeatedly do. You are not your intentions. You are not your dreams or your plans. You are your actions. You are your habits. So if you want to change your life, don't start by overhauling everything overnight. Start by changing one habit, one small, manageable shift, and stick to it. Every day is a chance to become a little better or a little worse. It's rarely neutral. Your daily choices either move you closer to the life you want or further away from it. That's the brutal truth. But it's also empowering because it means the future is in your hands. Your habits are your responsibility, and they are your most powerful tool for transformation. So make your actions count. 5. Greatness demands sacrifice. Everyone wants greatness, but few are truly willing to pay the price it demands. The truth is simple. If you want to rise, something's got to fall. You can't climb while holding on to everything. You can't become your best self while staying addicted to comfort, distractions, and the empty pleasures that crowd your time and dilute your focus. Greatness is never free. It is always bought with sacrifice. The world doesn't see what greatness costs. It only sees a highlight reel, the trophies, the success, the applause. But behind every breakthrough, there is a battlefield. There's the struggle, the late nights, the missed parties, the early mornings, the self-doubt that was overcome, the distractions that were ignored, the countless hours that nobody clapped for. That's what greatness is made of. You want to create something meaningful? Then you have to be willing to let go of the meaningless. Comfort is the first to go. Greatness and comfort don't coexist. You can't be comfortable and grow at the same time. You can't stay in your bubble and expect transformation. Greatness lives at the edge of discomfort. You have to sleep less, not forever, but enough to create time when the rest of the world is asleep. You have to scroll less, not just for your attention span, but for your soul. Because every second spent scrolling through someone else's life is a second stolen from building your own. You have to whine less, not because life is fair, but because greatness is born in resilience, not complaints. It's not about becoming a robot. It's about choosing what matters. You give up the short term in service of the long term. You sacrifice ease for meaning. You delay gratification because you believe in what you're building. You become the kind of person who can carry the weight of greatness because you've trained for it. Sacrifice is your training ground. You have to give more effort, more heart, more time. You have to focus more because the world is loud and full of noise, and only the focus can cut through it. You have to be more disciplined, more intentional, more resilient. And yes, it's hard, but that's what makes it great. If it were easy, it wouldn't be rare. And greatness is rare. It requires you to rise above the average, above the mediocre, above excuses that the world accepts. It demands more of you than you think you have, but gives you more than you ever imagined in return. So ask yourself, what are you willing to let go of in order to rise? What comfort are you clinging to that's keeping you small? What distractions are stealing your potential? What pleasures are draining your power? Let them go. Make space, and step into the discomfort, step into the sacrifice, because that's where greatness lives. 6. Comfort is the enemy of progress. Comfort is seductive. It whispers promises of ease, of safety, of rest. It lures you in with soft cushions and warm blankets and says, "Stay here. It's fine. You've done enough." But what comfort doesn't tell you is that while you're resting, the life you could have lived is quietly slipping away. Comfort is a trap. It feels good in the moment, but it keeps you still. And stillness, over time, becomes stagnation. You're not meant to stay the same. You're built to grow. And growth doesn't happen in the comfort zone. It happens at the edge, where it's unfamiliar, where it's a little scary, where your limits are tested and your strength is revealed. Progress is uncomfortable. It's meant to be. The gym burns. Learning something new feels awkward. Facing your fears makes your heart race. But that's the process. That's what growth feels like. If it's too easy, you're not growing. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. The truth is, comfort gives nothing and takes everything. It takes your dreams. It takes your potential. It takes your fire. And worst of all, it gives you just enough pleasure to keep you from noticing. It keeps you just entertained enough to not feel the void. But deep down, you know it. You feel the disconnect between who you are and who you could be. That tension is your compass. That discomfort you feel when you step out of your routine, it's a sign you're on the right path. Because pressure builds diamonds. Resistance builds strength. Discomfort builds character. Every time you choose growth over ease, you become more. Comfort zones are prisons with padded walls. They're safe, but they're not free. They keep you from failure, sure, but they also keep you from flight. So if it's uncomfortable, you're probably exactly where you need to be. Lean into it, because your future doesn't live inside your comfort zone. It lives on the other side of it. 7. Small wins stack up. We live in a world that glorifies the big moments, the finish lines, the victories, the standing ovations. But what's often forgotten is the quiet persistence that makes those moments possible. Big results don't appear out of nowhere. They're the result of small, consistent choices, stacked one on top of the other over time. If you want to change your life, don't chase the grand finale. Focus on the next right step. Because in the end, it's the small wins that stack up. Small wins are often invisible to the outside world. Waking up on time when you wanted to sleep in. Going for that walk when the couch was calling your name. Saying no to junk food, even once. Choosing to be kind when you could have lashed out. These are not headline moments, but they are the building blocks of transformation. Every small win is a vote for the kind of person you're becoming. The reason small wins are so powerful is because they compound. Just like compound interest grows your money, repeated small efforts build your character. One disciplined choice becomes two. One workout becomes a routine. One honest conversation becomes a stronger relationship. Over time, these little decisions start to shape your reality. It's easy to underestimate the value of a small win. That's why many people quit too early. They look for immediate results. And when they don't see them, they give up. But mastery, growth, resilience, they all come quietly, slowly, like water carving through rock. Steady effort changes everything. Think about how a mountain is moved, not in one great heave, but one shovel at a time. The person who sticks with it, who shows up day after day, will eventually look back and realize they've climbed farther than they ever imagined. It wasn't flashy. It wasn't loud. It was just one small win, then another and another. And there's something else. Small wins create momentum. When you keep a promise to yourself, no matter how minor, you start to believe in your ability to follow through. You trust yourself more. And with that trust comes confidence. Confidence to dream bigger. Confidence to take on harder things. It all starts with that first tiny win. That's why it's so important to celebrate small wins. Not with ego, but with gratitude. Each one is a sign that you're on the path. Each one is proof that you didn't give up. Don't wait until the scale drops by 20 pounds, or the business is thriving, or the world applauds. Celebrate that you showed up today, that you made one better choice. That's the work that matters. In a world obsessed with overnight success, be someone who values the long game. Be someone who finds meaning in the process, not just the outcome. Let others chase shortcuts. You're laying bricks, one day at a time. You're building something that lasts. So next time you feel like quitting because the finish line looks too far away, zoom in. Look at your feet. Take the next step. Win the next moment. You don't need to conquer the whole mountain today. You just need to take the next right step. That's how real change happens. Small wins, stacked up, day after day. 8. Own everything. Your life is yours alone. There comes a moment when you stop waiting for someone to save you, when you stop blaming your past, your parents, your boss, the government, the economy, your ex, and you decide that this life, your life, is yours and yours alone. That moment is when everything begins to change. It's true, life can be brutally unfair. People lie, things fall apart. You'll be misunderstood, overlooked, hurt, betrayed. That's reality. But the question isn't what happens to you, it's what you do with it. The question is whether you choose to see yourself as a victim of your circumstances or the architect of your life. When you play the victim, you give your power away. You become a passenger in your own story, waiting for someone else to steer the ship. But when you take ownership, radical, no excuses ownership, you take the wheel back. You start designing your life instead of just reacting to it. Owning everything doesn't mean blaming yourself for things beyond your control. It means taking responsibility for what you do next. You didn't choose the storm, but you choose how you navigate it. You didn't choose the hand you were dealt, but you choose how you play it. This mindset is powerful because it puts you in motion. You stop saying, "Why me?" and start asking, "What now?" You stop waiting for permission and start creating your own opportunities. Even in the hardest situations, you can find something to own: your attitude, your response, your discipline, your persistence. Think about any great leader, athlete, artist, or thinker you admire. None of them had a perfect life. Most face adversity that would break many people. But what set them apart wasn't luck. It was ownership. They refused to be defined by their setbacks. They used every failure as fuel. They didn't wait for someone to hand them a better life. They built it. Taking full ownership means you don't outsource your happiness, your health, or your purpose. You don't expect others to fix your life. You stop saying, "I can't help it. That's just the way I am," and start saying, "This is who I choose to become." It's not about perfection. It's about responsibility. It's uncomfortable at first. It's easier to blame and complain. But there's no freedom in excuses. There's no peace in powerlessness. Ownership might feel heavy, but it's also liberating. Because once you own your life, no one can take that from you. You become unshakable, not because life gets easier, but because you accepted full control of how you respond to it. Own your mornings. Own your habits. Own your mindset. Own your pain. Own your healing. Own your wins. And yes, even your failures. Because when you own them, they can't own you. And remember, no one is coming to save you. That might sound harsh, but it's a gift. Because once you accept it, you stop waiting and you start living. This life is yours. All of it. Own it. The life you want is on the other side of action. So stop hoping. Stop hesitating. Stop waiting. Get up. Get disciplined. Get it done. And if this message lit a fire in you, don't keep it to yourself. Like the video. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. And subscribe, because your growth doesn't stop here. This is just the beginning. Stay strong. Stay stoic. You've got work to do,